Hey everybody, welcome to Jen Lowry Writes. Okay, tonight is a launch party for a very special book. And I want to just say launch parties for me are all about honoring the people on my journey as I go about this life. Talk a little bit about the behind the scenes of the book, and of course have some giveaways. So, with that being said, I always want to say that no matter what I'm writing or working with, or projects, whether it's Camp Nano, I want to give all the glory to God with all of this work. Hey, Tish. Tish is here, guys. She's over on YouTube. I'm triple streaming. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So thank you, Tish. Tish said congratulations. So Tish knows all about this story because Tish was there when it was all playing out. So, first, thanks to God for using all of us in this life to help encourage and edify, build one another up in this work. And I am very blessed to have the Writing Warriors for Jesus. Now, this writing group, love you guys. Y'all are the best. We were having boot camp. And I've got to give a special shout out because if it wasn't for Sherri Mercer, none of this would be happening right now. We would not be having a launch party. This just is amazing. And it was just a few weeks ago. It was before Nano. Oh, Tish, I wish I had the date. Let me see. I bet you it was either the 28th of March or the 27th of March or the 20th of March. Dog, I wish we would have wrote this down. I'm getting congratulations on text. Guys, I love y'all. I know it was mid-March. We were talking about Camp Nano. We were talking about projects that we were going to be doing. We were working story seeds. We were in the middle of boot camp. And then Sherri was like, okay, I feel led to talk with you about something. And then she brought up the idea of me sharing the method that I write books, how I honor the blank page, how I approach it, embrace it, have so much joy when I'm writing a book. And I was like, Sherri, okay. And I was I got my notebook here and I kind of start to write a little bit. And she's like, and when you have a new conference, and I'm like, Sherri, we're having the WWJ conferences. And so, guys, if you haven't heard yet, the Writing Warriors for Jesus, we are such an active group. And we're doing activities and events all the time. And we've got a conference that's coming up. I want to go and get the little banner because our conferences are free. You can check out our link tree. You can go to @JesusWriting if you want to go to our Facebook page and check that out. We have an Eventbrite now from yesterday's boot camp, but we're always working to glorify God, work together on our writing, just encourage and pray for one another, and we're that support team. And so I'm like, Sherri, we've got conferences. We've got the Writing Warriors conferences. We have a youth summit coming up where young authors and K-12 authors can unite all together in one whole long big packed day. Then that's on May 22nd. Then we have another conference, August the 6th and 7th, 2 days of talking about Jesus and writing all day, like for real, like amazing stuff coming up. And Sherri was like, no, I want your conference about this method book that you need to write. And then it's going to be a paid conference. And this for you, Jen, and you need this for you. I just feel so led to encourage you to do this. And she's like, you challenge us. It's my time for us to challenge you. And she just spoke life over me, guys. And so Sherri Mercer, she's a sweetheart. I love her so much. Tish was there. We have, my other boot camp warriors were there. And I could just feel it. I could feel the Lord in it. And I said, okay, all right, Sherri. So we're getting off of boot camp. We ended out, and I go to Eli. And so I'm like, Eli, Sherri's talked to me about, she felt led to say all of these things to me about writing the book and having a conference and having courses where people can register. And he was like, do it, do it. And so we prayed about it. And I was like, I'm going to see. So I'm like, how could I organize this thing? What could it be like? And he was like, she did task you to do your thing, right? He's like, do it your way, even this book, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, your method, your method. And I'm like, man, it's so good to have like prayer warriors around me, people that I can go to and talk to. My writing people, guys, I'm going to be calling y'all out throughout this launch party. You guys rock. Y'all are phenomenal. Y'all put up with me, one. Y'all put up with my weirdness, my silliness, and all of the in between. And I just so thank you for all of that. And Eli's a great support system, and so are my kids. And so here I am, like, okay, I'm going to go to the couch, pulled up canva.com, and I was like, what would it be named, and how would it be structured, and Lord, what do you want from me? Like, what do you want this to be? And so I sat and just prayed for God to give me wisdom in that space. And I often tell others, like, when you are approaching your blank page, begin it with prayer. Oh, there's Allie. Allie, I hope you got to hear the beginning of how all this came to be. It was in WWJ boot camp. Hope you heard it. Love you, Allie. Allie, Tish is there. Y'all can be chatting up a storm. Y'all are both on YouTube. And so it all came from Sherri listening and then responding to God's call. And then speaking that life over me. And then what do? I have to make choices too. And I have to pray about them and say, yes, I accept that call. Now, Lord, what is it supposed to be? And it's all for the glory of Jesus in this work and this author life. And I'm like, God, what is this supposed to be? And so, Allie, you did give me some encouragement. I do want to tell you that when I was first talking about this, and I made the images that morning, that Saturday morning, so I could go back. Tish, we could go back and get the exact date because it's in the WWJ's training camp on Facebook. Because I put up the images. And Allie wrote right away, I love how you're keeping that to brand. Do you remember how you said that, Allie? And Allie was like giving me positive words of affirmation. And here I am just moving forward, and it all worked. And the Monarch Method came about. My business is Monarch Educational Services. I know God had given me that name, Monarch. And so that is my business. And so if I'm making a method book, let it still align with everything that I'm about. And all of my books are under those brands. And so, yeah, Allie, when you said that, I was like, Eli, Allie said they look beautiful. They look good. Allie likes it. And I was like, I remembered, Allie, like, you guys, even when you put small little comments, those words of affirmation, they really mean something to me. And they give me that encouragement to keep going. And I just want to thank all of you for that. So Allie remembers like those first little shots that I was putting up in the group going, what do you guys think? What do y'all think of this? And then here we are, working the chapters, and my method, the Monarch Method, was easy for me to write because it's how I've written the past 18 books. So I'm at my 22 books, like, hey, Rachel's here. Love you, Rachel. So I have developed strategies and ways that just work for me. They work as motivation. They work for organization. They work to keep that fire going. And all of those things have been placed inside the Monarch Method book because that's what Sherri asked for. Sherri asked specifically for a book that says, Jen, how do you do it from start to finish? So that way I can carry you around with me. And so that's what it is. That's what it is. It was easy to write because I've done it over and over and over again. And it's been a success for me. It's worked for me. Now, am I to say that the Monarch Method is going to be the only way to ever write a novel? Oh, no. I am saying that Sherri tasked me with writing the way that I write novels. And now I get to share all of that with you in book form, with challenges along the way, journals and reflection, questions and resources, and everything that you need to help you honor your blank page and embrace that joy that's within your writing space, because that's what it's all about, is doing this life with joy, that overwhelming cup runneth over kind of joy. And motivation, what Monarch starts with, chapter 1, really can help set that stage for that positive emotion to live and dwell within your writing space. Because when you have positive emotion and you have engagement and relationships and meaning and accomplishment, when you have those key practices put into place and it's all working for God's glory, then that joy will be there in your work. And sometimes we may need to come back to our why. Sometimes we may need to reorganize our space or our time. But our mission is our mission. And the Monarch Method is a place where you can always go back to and revisit. So Allie said she's so glad that Sherri asked me to share that process, because we do need that encouragement. We do need that place where, we can feel isolated. We can feel pressures and frustrations and stress and all of this negative emotion that can come at us. But there is a way that we can combat all of that. And I talk about it in the Monarch Method. So I love it. I love it. When I first started building the cover for the Monarch Method, I knew that it was going to come quick because she tasked me to do it. And I don't know if you guys know, I'm wearing my Nightmare on Elm Street shirt right now to represent my horror love. But I'm going to let you guys know, I love what's about to happen in my life, because August 31st, I'm having my first thriller published. And The Sunday Killer is going to be coming out. It is a Heather Moody detective series, hopefully a series, but it is book 1. I know that. I haven't pitched the other ideas yet, but I will say that the first book, even if it's a one and a done, I am so super thrilled about this book. And so when she told me, hey, you need to write this Monarch Method book, she called it this method book, this craft book, I was like, okay, I know I'm on a deadline. So when I was looking at dates, I knew that I wanted it out before the summer. One, I did not want a competing book. I did not want any book up when pre-orders were going to come in for The Sunday Killer, and it has not been put on pre-order yet. So I'm like in this safety zone. I'm in this like little window. And so guys, Nana's been really busy. Y'all could drop in the chat if you've been participating in Camp Nano. But Camp NaNoWriMo for April, man, has it been a fire month for me. I've got tons of things that are happening right now, and channeling that stuff right into my writing has really helped me also. So I will say that it just all happened, Tish, at a great time. Thank you for encouraging me, Tish, for Nano. You and Ann were so instrumental in me at my first steps with Camp Nano. That's where I wrote The Sunday Killer to begin with. And then more ideas and strategies and tips working that novel. It really upped my game when it came to how I work best with writing from start to finish. Rachel's rocking Nano. Tish is raising her hand for Nano. Awesome. And so for me, for Camp Nano, I was like, okay, I'm going to do some small projects. I'm going to update my website. We had story seeds going, and I was like, maybe one of these story seeds will be something that I can use. And Sherri helped also springboard that. I got to cycle back to that too, because she planted that seed for story seeds. So in the month of March, we were writing an idea down a day. So I have 30 ideas of some really cool, interesting kind of things. Now, there were a few of them that were podcast episodes, and I knew that, but I labeled them that. It was like that hit me that day, and that's what I could put down as an idea, and I moved. But I had to start a new poetry book. So for Nano, that's really where I was going. I was going to be fact versus fiction, working this book. And as you guys can see, this is the pre-sale. This one's not for sale yet. It's on pre-order, but it's going to be out. It's coming out soon. It's out of the end of the month. So it's right in time for National Poetry Month. So I was combining my love of poetry, doing all the poetry readings. Congratulations to Tish Bouvier. She just released her #1 new release in Japanese and haiku poetry. It's called Everyday Haiku. Life is a prayer. Look, Tish. Look what I got in the mail today. Look. Oh man, I love it so much. And I love it. And Tish, guys, she gave a special shout out for the WWJs. Yes, she did, y'all. Love you, Tish. And she said, Tish, I just got to read this part because I cackled. So I had the loveliness of reading this ahead of time, I will say. But I've got the ebook and the paperback, Tish. Okay. And Jen, you were right. Just right. And it will all come together. So Tish, let me tell you what I did. I went and got Sam. And I said, Sam, you got to come down. So he comes running down, and I'm holding it. He said, Mama, look, there's Tish's book. Tish, you are famous in our household. And I said, yes, it's Tish. And I said, look what Tish wrote in the back. And he said, Mom, he said, you say, because I say this thing, if people would listen to me, the world would be a better place. And I say it to him all the time. And I say, Sam, if you would just listen to Mama, the world would be, and he'll say, a better place. And Sam will finish the sentence. And then I said, and she said, Jen, you were right. And Sam said, Mama, yep, Tish listened to you, and now the world is a better place. Look. Everyday haiku, Tish Bouvier. Life is a prayer. Y'all got to go get your copy. Love it. It'll bring you so much just peace and such joy for the week. And so, awesome. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting all kinds of messages too on the side. So, Allie said she loves that poetry, and she's talking about fact versus fiction because the WWJs always have first look inside my author friends, my launch team. They are instrumental in that. I'm like, guys, y'all want to read what I've got going on? It's there. And so Allie got to see some of the points. I don't know if you read the whole thing, Allie, but I know you got to see some of them. But she said she loved that poetry. She's talking about fact versus fiction, my Southern poetry. You can check out one of the events that we did where it was Tish and me and Allie. We were reading our poetry. We had a special guest that came with us that night, Becca Wheeler. She's another one of my author friends, and she read her poetry. Oh, it was so cool, guys. I loved it so much. Y'all can go check that video out if you missed it live. But I really thought fact versus fiction was what was going to be happening for April. But then again, if you are going to honor the blank page and have joy with what you do, who is to stop? Who is to stop? We are to be the open vessel, and we are to say, Lord, we're ready. Just pour it in, and we'll just take it and we'll put it out there for you, God. And I'm telling you, it happened again. So I'm going, okay, I'm going to do the Monarch Method. I got fact versus fiction. I'm going to write the Monarch Method. And as I was writing, I put it up in the WWJs, and I was like, you guys, this is it. This is the book that Sherri requested. And I jumped right on that because I felt in my spirit that it was time. It was a book and it was time. And I also have that window of publication before the Sunday Killer goes out for pre-order. So I'm like, okay, what is this going to look like? So I emailed my editor. I love my editor so much. If you guys read the Monarch Method, you're going to see me mention about Sally in there. And I give her the title of Cut Woman instead of a cut man in the UFC because I edit like UFC championship rounds, and that's actually a chapter in there. So I give all these special props to my editor. I tell you guys, I don't know where I would be without her now. Thank you all for being forgiven when I did not have the budget or the understanding of why I needed an editor at the early parts of my career. But now I do have the best editor ever. And I love Sally so much. Sally gets me. She gets my weirdness. And she has edited now like 4 or 5 of my books now. And now she's going to be going back. And I got to start digging up some bones. And I got to make sure that some of those old books she's going to take care of for me. Yay! Hey, thank you. Oh, look. Okay, so you're going to hear me start talking about all these people, Joanna. So these are all, this is my writing group. There's Rachel. Rachel is over too. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about the Monarch Method. I've just told like all the story of how it came to be during one of our writing boot camp sessions in the WWJs, and just answering that call and fitting it in. And like Allie was like, Jen, come on, I wish you would tell them the Monarch Method, how you're doing it all. So Allie, guess what happened the first week in April? Starting that Friday night, we hit to spring break. So I just want to thank Jesus and all of the Camp Nano people in the world who decided to find Wake County schools and say, okay, we're going to make Camp Nano start around Jennifer's spring break. Because that was awesome. That was like a perfect alignment. So props to you guys for following the school schedule, because the first week and 2 days after that, I was on spring break. So that means 5:30 in the morning, I could get up as if I'm going to work, making a podcast, doing all the stuff that I always do. But I could get in front of that screen and I could write not only fact versus fiction, my Southern poetry, but I could also write the Monarch Method, and I could get that to Sherri, and I could get that into the hands of the WWJ. So if you guys wanted to read it, because you guys know me, like, man, like y'all know me like Eli and the boys and Aunt Dot, and April and Jessica know me. Like, y'all are my family, and y'all know if y'all see it, is it going to be like having a conversation with me? So that was when I started writing. It was spring break. So Allie, I'm going to tell you, that's how I did it. And I was just up really early, and I was spending tons and tons of time on the computer. Now, that will give me some eye strain. I will have some side effects from that. I will have some headaches from that. However, I convinced myself that it is temporary and that it is not going to be long lasting, because I'm going to get this first draft done and it's going to be ready to get to Sally. So I was talking to you guys about my editor, and so I knew the Monarch Method was going to be ready soon. My goal for the book was 20,000 words. And I was like, okay, my nano project, 20,000 words. I'm going to get the Monarch Method in there. So I put up the image because I wanted to have that up. You know, we like that image, don't we, Rachel? We like something up there to kind of show. So put it up on Nano, contacted Sally. And I said, Sally, I'm almost finished with the book. And I had kind of started it that Friday, started working on it through the weekend, kind of went over the structure with the WWJs during boot camp. I kind of was like, got their approval. I emailed Sally and I was like, Sally, I'm going to be finished with it soon. She was like, oh, I've just finished one project. I've got you on the list. So I got on Sally's editing list. It was like a door just opens again. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus. That's what I needed. And I'm like, you know, just whenever you can get to it, but I do kind of want a little quick turnaround on it. She's amazing. I love her so. So when I finish the book, I don't hold it, because a part of the Monarch Method is that when I'm writing, I'm having people read as I write. So, for example, Allie, I started a new book. I know. Oh, my gosh. I know. I started a new poetry book. So, yeah. Allie, go ahead and scream. Go ahead and scream. You know about it anyway. Yeah, Allie just said she's so glad the timing worked out, and I've accomplished a ton during spring break. I did. I really focused my energy, limited other activities that I was doing, so that way I could really honor that blank page and get that done within the time. And then another perfect time for me is the summer months, or any kind of holiday, or any kind of day off, and weekends. And so even when I'm working the full-time job in homeschooling, I work those weekends in to make sure, like, I worked all day until 5 o'clock yesterday, and then the fights were coming on at 7. The prelims were coming on at 7. So Eli was like, look, I'm going to give you till 5 o'clock, but we got to cut it off, Jen. You've been on this thing since 7 a.m. You look so tired. He was like, you know, baby, you got to rest. Like, you got to stop. And so then I had a great evening, and we moved and from working on the computer, and we were right into fights, and we had fight night. And then today I did the same thing. I worked on the computer all morning. I got up early, started working on all the promotional materials and all of the things that I'm doing here, and just making sure everything was lined up for today. We did another event to honor some kids. It was so much fun. So I had a lot of author stuff going on today, but I need to do it. I need to get out there. I need to put more words, because I know that this is how the words are going to flow from my head to that book to someone else. And I got to be the one to push through the hard and get that done. So, but I will say, when this is over, you guys know, got some serial killer documentaries that Eli's going to be lining up for me, and we're going to be kind of having just a chill night, and the computer's going to be shut down, and I'm not going to be back on it again. So, Allie, I do have my time. I do have my family time and stuff like that, but when I can write, I'm writing. Yeah, Tish was like, good motivation. And that's where the Monarch Method starts. It talks about motivation and journaling, all of that, and goal setting, and everything kind of like the way that I do when I'm approaching a new project. And the beta readers have already come out with a new book. So on Wednesday, I'm having to take Solomon to his tattoo appointment. And I'm in the car, and I have my notebook and a pen. Computer can't work because it attacks the pollen, goes flying on it. So what can I do with that time? I did take some books with me. I had Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. I had Scary Stories Telling the Dark. I keep one of those copies in my car. Yes, I do. And so here I am, and I'm just like, reading, and I start writing poetry, and I wrote 30 poems. And they're all children's poems. And some are silly, some are serious, and some are scary. And so then this week, another book is born. And so what do I say? I wrote them all down in here. I'm like, this book goes with me, and my I have to have my 5-star. It goes with me in my book sack and wherever I go. And you never know where inspiration is going to hit. And so here I am. The Monarch Method has just finished, and now the edits, it's up. It's pre-order. It's going. I'm telling people about it. I'm making a podcast about it. Now another book. And I'm like, wait, wow. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for these words. And I'm messaging friends and my launch team, the WWJs. I'm like, guys, I got a new book. If you want to read it, it's silly, it's serious, and it's scary poems. I don't quite know what the title is. I'm texting friends. I'm saying, look, what's this? What's this? Riley Cross is sending me a title. She's like, I love hello words. Well, you know what? Riley's my go-to girl. When it comes to titles and taglines, that girl's got it, y'all. She's gold. She is gold, like the Golden Arm Tish. So Golden Arm is now put in. It's poem number 31. So it's the last little one. Bonus there at the end. So I just put it in if you want to go read it. I know you read the other poems, Tish, but the Golden Arm is the last. It's got to be the last. That's the one that I was telling you guys about the other day. And so, the Monarch Method runs all the time with me. And I have done it like so much. Like I already kind of know my method. So writing this book was so easy to do. And here's what I wanted. I wanted a book where, you love that's my all-time favorite, Free Trip. And then Aunt Dot sent me something on my Facebook. And Tish, you can go look at it. She sent me this little image. And I said, Aunt Dot, I wrote a poem like that about that. Something similar to that this week. Wait till you read it in the book. And then I can hear Aunt Dot saying that. Yours is my favorite, baby. I could hear Aunt Dot say that. I'm so glad you like Free Trip. So my sweet friend Carol, who is also an author, she said her favorite poem was Dear John. And she gave me a couple hearts on that one. And so I love poetry and how it can stick to your bones and stick to your hearts in all these different kinds of ways. My favorite's the Golden Arm, I have to say. So I can't wait to hear what you think of that one. So the Monarch Method was really easy for me. And with the nano time, thank you, nano, with spring break, thank you, I was able to really just focus in and write and honor the page. And it's the method book that I'll use over and over and over again. And so when it comes time for me to say, well, here goes this book. There's a poetry book for kids now. What's my choices, right? With the Monarch Method, I can be a Hallelujah. That's an H. You can have your Hallelujah chapter. You can celebrate the words. You can share them out with your community. That's C, call on community. You can share that all out. You can, get it all edited, get it all worked through, having all the betas done, start sharing out what you're doing. I've already contacted my cover designer. So my cover designer is on it. And I gave her my inspirations. I was like, where the sidewalk ends, crashes with scary stories, tell in the dark. I gave her hello words and I said, here's the book in case you just want to kind of go through it and see maybe some of the different things, like maybe, I don't know, some symbols or some little creatures or something in there that you might want to put on the cover, but very simple, light, black, basic colors, nothing fancy, just something that kind of lets people know that there are silly poems, serious ones, and scary ones all mashed up together. Which, if anybody knows me, then you're like, yeah, that's Jen. That's perfect. And so that's what the Monarch Method is about, too. It's honoring my authentic self when I'm doing this job, when I'm doing this. And I wanted the book to have that also kind of tone. So that way, when you're reading the book, it's like you and me sitting together having some coffee, and we're talking about writing, and we're talking about Jesus. And we can talk about it all day with that book you're reading. And then when you're ready to pick up your new book and have a brand new experience and a brand new journey with your characters or your topic, whether you're writing fiction or nonfiction, whatever it is you're writing. This is how to write a novel from start to finish, but honestly, it works. I've done it with fact versus fiction. I've done it with this children's poetry book. It's something that you can really help motivate you to work through. I wanted it to be just like us talking. And so my dear friend Kim, She read it, and Kim was like, oh, yeah, you nailed it. You got the conversational tone down. Because Kim and I have had tons of conversations, and Kim knows me. And when Sally, my editor, when she was going through it, there was a spot, y'all, I'm going to tell you. She said, okay, Jen, I can hear you saying this, and I'm just going to say leave it in here because it is so you. But of course, I know where she was going. Maybe the grammar weren't like the best right here, but she was like, that's just you. You got to keep that. That's you right there, that little spot. Keep it. It's slang. So she liked my slang, and my slang is in there. I will let you guys know because it's just me and you talking about Monarch Method. How to write a book, start to finish, grab coffee. Let's have some fun and have some joy and write some books and get some words out there. Put them on the page, share them with the world, and let's do it again and again and again. So she got the tone. And then when Luke read it, Luke sent me an email and said that it was just like me talking with you guys, and that's exactly what I wanted. Now, he had a lot more, fancier words to say than that, but I'm paraphrasing, and I'm just going to say Luke said he loved it. And so I feel like, I've said it in boot camp. I said it this weekend. Sherri said, write your method. Tell us what you're doing, Jen. Write it from start to finish. And she said, write it. And I did. And I pray that it brings God glory. And I hope that it truly reaches one person and helps them to honor their blank page and embrace the joy that can come from this author life. That's what I hope for. And if it hits one person, guess what? I got the check mark off because I got an email from Luke. And Luke said he loved it. So one person, I got it. And maybe Luke will go leave a review. And then, hooray, a mission has been accomplished, Sherri. We did it. Luke loved it. And then I keep going, and I have more projects to do, and I've got more things on my list, and all them 30 story seeds are really going to come in handy now that we've got Amazon Vella on the loose. And I'm now about to make a soap opera that's going to be like a mashup of Days of Our Lives, Dallas, and Seventh Heaven. So I'm going to take all three of those ideas that I had on the story seeds and mash them all together, 3 into 1, and create a serial soap opera that is a clean read. Yeah, how could you have a soap opera with clean read? Trust me, we got drama too. I got people around me got drama. So it's going to be some clean fiction up there on Bella. But it's going to be Dallas and Days of Our Lives meeting up with Seventh Heaven. We're going to be seeing what that's going to be all about. But, when we come up with ideas, they're not all meant to be done right now. Like, I came up with this really cool one with Penwitch. I even pitched it to Kim. I was like, Kim, got a new one. Got a new idea, and I really love it. And I loved it for that day. And I wrote it down, and I shared it with Sam on a walk. And, oh, man, his fantasy. His Norse mythology was kicking in, and my 13-year-old was schooling me about X, Y, and Z, and how I could do all of this and that. And you know what? That was a great brainstorming time with my kid. But am I going to follow through with the Penwitch ones right now? I don't know. I may not. We'll see what the Lord wants me to do next, because right now I've got still more things on my list to do, which is the launch for the Sunday Killer. So I'm going to be working with my publishing company on that one, and I sent off my launch plan to the publicist, and I can't wait to hear back to see how all the ins and the outs of that's going to work, and get some more love poured into me and some more ideas and strategies and ways that I can help improve what I'm doing in this world. And so I'm showing you guys this, that when you're approaching a page, it's not the only page you'll ever have. You work through your book. You work through your idea. You have joy. You love it. You meet your characters. You have fun all the time. You mess them all up. You give them tons of obstacles. Lord, don't us authors just love to muck some characters up. Let's muck them up. Let's fix them up. Let's tie them all together. Untie them again. And guess what? We're going to come right back to that blank page again. And if you had the Monarch Method beside you, which I don't even have the copy yet, it's in the mail shipping, you'll be able to start it all over again with these methods. And you can try. So the Monarch Method is set up for, and I want to show you guys some of the stuff that I made for it, so you can see it. So you guys can see it because it's out. I am sharing my screen now. So I first go to Canva, and I want to show you kind of like the tool, canva.com. And on that morning, that was the day when I was like, you know what, I'm going to start playing around with images and figuring out what is going to be kind of like the themes, the topics, the concepts, because I'm a visual person. I saw a garden for my monarch to be able to dance in, to be able to find joy in. And of course, I had to pick knockout roses because those are my mama's favorites. So my mama, she loved her some knockout roses. And if you guys have read one of my books, there's a scene in there. And Rachel has knockout roses in her garden. And of course, she makes a little joke about, UFC in there and MMA fighting. But the reason why knockout roses are in there is because it's my mama's favorite. So I don't want y'all to think that it's like, well, she's picking knockout roses because of UFC. No, it's way before UFC, guys. So if you see roses or rose gardens or any rose images that are going to be popping up about the Monarch Method, then you're going to understand how my weird brain took everything that I do and then started putting it and placing it within the garden. So I use that as my basis to grow out some of these images and ways to talk about every rose has its thorn. And Lee Greenwood's old song, I don't mind the thorns when you're the rose. So y'all, there's something else about me you'll learn about the Monarch Method. I think in lyrics, okay? Y'all, I got to stop, and I got to tell y'all right now, in my new book, I wrote a poem thinking of song lyrics. And I was going to do this little thing where I'm going to do a social media thing. If somebody can guess the song, well, inspired me for this. Did y'all know that Kim sent me a message and she said, this reminds me of this 80s song, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, because it's generation. It's 80s versus now. And I'm like, Kim, you got it. That was intentional. I meant it. And I was going to use that for like a social media kind of burst, like a prize. Like, I was like, wow, she got it. What in the world? I thought that was hilarious. All right, so I got here, I think with images, but I also think in song. So Allie, throughout the book, you and Tish are going to get some of my song choices, like On Top of the World by the Carpenters. Y'all going to just be getting some songs from me. During the conference, yeah, the conference that Sherri said, Jennifer, you need to have a conference. And the courses, they're going to be like songs. Like, I can't like play songs for like copyright issues, but I can share lyrics with you guys and we can try to do maybe some little karaoke every now and then. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, songs are an integral part of joy for me. But I will say that it's a method that works and brings joy to your writing space. It's a method that works for me, though. And so here's the thing about methods. You can go out and say, how do you write a book? And you can get method books. You can get craft books. You can. And they can work. And they can have some great tips and strategies in there. And you can say, well, who is Jennifer thinking she is writing this book? Well, I'm writing it because I'm answering a call that Sherri Mercer asked me to do. She said, Jen, write this book. I feel like the Lord has asked me to tell you these things, and I just feel like I need to tell you these things. And you know what? I answered that call. And so it's a method that has worked. And I'm like on my 22nd book right now, and I'm going to continue to go. Did I make everything perfect? No, I've made tons of mistakes. That's why the method, now that I've done all these A through Z's, I can look back and I can say, these were the things that worked. These were the things I wish I would have known from the beginning. Like, I wish I would have known that I needed a professional editor. I heard people say that, but I thought that if I married Grammarly and Pro Writing Aid and had an official ceremony for them and made them a cake, that it was going to be enough. And then I realized that it wasn't. But you know what? There's something else about this book. And I didn't spell that right. And so now I need to go in and give myself the grace to grow publicly. Give yourself the grace to grow. We're going to make mistakes. And I didn't do that intentionally. That was really there. We're gonna mess up. We're not perfect, but we serve a God who is. And you know what? We can learn. We can go back. We can grow. And so I want to give you that kind of encouragement with the Monarch Method. So you're going to hear me say, give yourself the grace to grow. And this just came out of boot camp one day. We were sitting and we were working. Tish, I don't know if you remember it or not, but I was like, sometimes we need to give people the grace to grow. That's when we're talking about. Now I'm thinking about it. I was like, we need to give people the grace to grow. We need to give ourselves grace to grow. And then at the end, Sherri was like, okay, aren't you challenging us to grow? Aren't you ready for this book and this conference and these courses? Yes, Sherri, I am. And so on June 5th, I'll make this bigger so you guys hopefully can see it better. I don't know why I'm sitting here. I guess I was showing you Canva. June 5th from 8 to 5, we are going to have a registration type conference. You're going to register. You're going to get private access, and it's just going to be me from 8 to 5. We're going to have us a lunch break, but I am going to bring my food in, and we can eat and talk and just relax and chill during lunch break. Just chill our brain. But it's all about giving yourself that grace to grow. And you can register on my website, jenlowrywrites.com. You can email me, jenlowrywrites@gmail.com. If you say, wait, I don't know how to register, we can do it over PayPal like that with my business PayPal through Monarch. But I've got the PayPal links up there. You can also go to Eventbrite and put in your registration there if you like Eventbrite. I've got it on Facebook, on my author page. So I've got ways for people to access it. And so for accessibility purposes, because you guys really know that I care about accessibility, I do have multiple ways where you can go and access Point This and register. You can just simply email me. I also have a form that goes along with it. That way I can understand who you are and learn a little bit more about you prior to the conference. So there is a registration form that I have filled out. So what does the schedule look like? Well, from 8 to 8:30, we're just going to be hanging out and praying over the conference and everybody. And then at 8:30 to 9:30, we're talking about motivation. And then we're moving through Monarch, motivation, organization, new chapter a day. Tag the edits like UFC championship rounds, reflection, call on community, and our hallelujah time. Then we're going to be closing out and praying. Now, if you cannot make this 8 to 5, I am going to be offering courses. And the courses are the same amount. They're $25. You can get them all broken up, and they're just going to be me and you. And you're going to have self-guided materials and notes to go along with it, same way with the conference. But you can do it self-paced, and it can be all for you. But it's going to dive deeper in. But I will tell you that the book is out now, and that might be what you need. You might need the Monarch Method, just how to write a novel from start to finish. Or you may need that conference support. So I've been praying about the conference. I know we're going to have it on June the 5th. But I also want to look at having an additional date near the end of the summer. So with me being out for the summer, that's a really good help for me. I'm able to plan a lot more events. So the courses will be up. I may do a winter break course maybe, or a winter break conference or a winter break follow-up. I'm praying about those things. I'm praying about maybe what could be needed, or it might not be. And so I'm just asking the Lord about that now, and just putting it down on the list, going, maybe these are some things, maybe they're not needed, but we'll see. And so that's the Monarch Method. So now that we've made it to the end of all the behind the scenes, now it's time for a giveaway. So I'm going to give away one free ticket to go to the conference. One ticket. And I'm going to put a banner up that has my email on it. And here's what I would love for you to do. If you would, and I'll put my email in the chat too. If you would like to attend the conference and you feel like this would be something that could really help you honor your blank page, embrace your words, and find joy in your writing space, then send me an email, jenlarrywrites@gmail.com, and let me know why you would like to go. And each person that sends me one, I promise you that I will put your name into a raffle and I will draw. And so I know that you have to know, if you get accepted to things like that I want this video to kind of sit up for a couple of days. That way we can give people an opportunity, like if they had church or they had something going on this evening and they were not able to attend the launch party, but they do want to watch the launch party. Let's give them a couple of days. So I will announce the winner on April the 21st. So email me by April 21st. That's Wednesday. April 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern with why you would like to attend the conference, and your name will go into a drawing for a free ticket to attend. Okay? And then I will announce the winner at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time live. All right. I've put them in there. It is a virtual conference. It's non-refundable. If you can't attend the conference, you don't get the money back. It just goes, well, you can now go to the courses, and I will move you over into the courses. All right, so there you go. Maybe you'll win. And speaking of winners, if you guys are a part of my newsletter, and I'm going to share with you guys just a sneak peek of what my newsletter looks like. So I send out newsletters, and look at this new cover, y'all. So newsletter is about events that are happening, new things in the world, plus giveaways. So if you guys are like me and you love a good giveaway, start off with my Bible verse. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Isaiah 43:19. And that was my Camp Nano prayer. And yes, I pray Bible verses. That's a very powerful thing to do. And so I asked my newsletter subscribers if they wanted a copy of Offbeat, they had to type in spring, or if they wanted Tish Bouvier, her new book, to type in haiku, and then winners would be drawn, and that I was going to announce them on our live. So guess what? I've got the list of the winners. And so, yep, I talk about Sherri. Look, there was our event, April 5th at 7 o'clock. I'm having another event, April 27th. This one is a free Poetry 101 Q&A on how to publish. There is a poem I wrote for my mama and daddy. Love that one. This is how you can contact me. You can share a poem with me, and I'll share it out. If you didn't know, got a podcast, here it is. So here's kind of like what my newsletter is all about. And I share little sneak peeks and all of that and places where people can find me. And so if you guys would like to join my newsletter, I'm going to post it right here into the chat. And you guys can fill out that form, or you can go to my website. I'm going to put my website in there. And you can subscribe there. So I get subscribers from both places. It's just your preference of where you would like to subscribe to my mailing list. And then you can get that week's shout out sent right to your news box. Y'all know what I mean. All right, so winners, I'm announcing. I have them written down. I need my glasses on for this. Okay. So the first one to give away is my friend Tish Bouvier. I'm giving away her book. She's my dear sweet sister in Christ. She just wrote Everyday Haiku, Life is a Prayer. And I absolutely love it. I'm going to read the back. Everyday Haiku depicts fun, reflective, and fleeting moments. Each day of the week, these moments are captured in 3 lines, 17 syllables, 575 format, honoring the simplicity of life magnified in a prayer. Everyday Haiku allows the reader to pause and embrace God's presence. And so the winners are, drum roll, don't have all that fancy stuff Tish has on her screen that you can check out at Tish Bouvier. Autumn won a haiku book. So Autumn, you won. Hooray. And Katrina, you won a haiku book. So I had 2 winners for haiku. So congratulations. I'm getting ready to email you guys. Thank y'all for being a support team with me, for praying with me. I can just feel that love when I get about those newsletters. I'm like, please pray for me. I know you guys are. All right. So then I asked my newsletter subscribers if they wanted to go into the raffle. I know, Tish. Yes, they sent me the word haiku. And that's how I run them, Tish. I just say, put it in the subject line. And then when I go my search bar, I can just type in haiku. And guess what? Tish said that she hopes that you guys enjoy the read. Yep. And Tish, I'm so very proud of your #1 new release. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful, Tish. Beautiful. Okay. So the next winners are for Offbeat. Y'all, this is an ooh-ah moment for me. Offbeat's got a new cover. And that's why I sent out the newsletter, because of the beauty of my cover designer, 6 Sweet Studios. She did such an amazing job. So props out to Tia from Sweet 6 Studios for doing this cover. Just beautiful. There's Mary Oxendine, y'all. Love it. Yeah, Tish said she loves that cover on Offbeat. Yes. Love it too. Love it too, Tish. Okay. And so because of that cover, and I have it out on audio too, Abigail Vetter is an amazing narrator. She hits the perfect note with Mary. Just really captures the heart of her, the voice, just everything. It gives me goosebumps when I listen to my narrators read the work, because I know that the Lord lines me up. He opens doors and he brings wonderful people in my circle, in my life. And I have had 2 of the best narrators, guys, and I love them so much. I have Anne and I have Abigail, and Abigail was my reader for Offbeat. And so I let people know that they could get an audio code, a paperback, or an ebook of Offbeat, because I am celebrating this cover, and each one has a brand new cover. So it would be reader preference, whichever they want. So I got to find out, because guess who won it? Leslie won it. Leslie, I'm telling you, keep doing it, because your name keeps spinning and going. So I use Flippity, and I put all the names in after the emails, and I'm spinning and flipping it. I think Leslie, I could go back and look, but I think Leslie's going to probably end up winning my whole collection. She wins a lot. like, oh, Leslie's emailing me. She's entering again. And then I spin the wheel. I do flippity and I spin it. And then Leslie wins. Leslie, you won it. And Katrina, she won offbeat. So Katrina, she gets offbeat and she gets Tish's book. So I am just like, oh, look, you're mine, Tish. What are you talking about? So I'm excited for Katrina because she gets to read both of us, Tish. And I'm excited for Autumn because now she's going to have your book. So, and Leslie, it's coming. So as soon as I get off, I'm going to email and I'm going to say, all right, guys, do y'all want for Tish's book? It's in paperback or ebook. And I'm going to say which one you want. And then I'll let you know, Tish, what they choose. And then I'm going to email Katrina and Leslie and ask them, do they want the ebook, the paperback, or the audio codes? So if you've not registered for my newsletter yet, I would love for you to be a newsletter subscriber because I do monthly giveaways. I love to support my WWJs too. So I already know the book that is coming in May, and that is Lenny the Last Lightning Bug. So guys, a children's book is going to be a part of that giveaway because we are going to be celebrating Allie. So Allie's got a brand new interior, new design. She's got new illustrations. And so we are going to be celebrating Allie through that month. We're also going to be celebrating Tracy Murdoch and Rachel. Now we can add Ann Delview to the list because Ann just released her YA book. And so the WWJs are out moving and shaking and they're producing work and continuing to work. I know, Rachel. So proud of Allie. And so now we've got to have us an opportunity to share out with Allie her new Lenny the Last Lightning Bug. The story is the same, but the illustrations are new. And so it'll give us a chance to highlight her and that collaboration that she did with her illustrator to get what her concept was back onto the page. So Rachel said, woohoo, Allie. Yep. Super excited for all of you guys. Everybody is just honoring their pages and going after it with joy. And I just want to say how much I love y'all. I'm just so blessed to know you guys. And thank you for all that you do for me. Your prayers and your support and your shares and your reviews and all of that good stuff. And I hope that y'all love the Monarch Method. And maybe it will allow you to honor your blank page, embrace your words, and find joy in your writing space. All right, guys. I love y'all. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for me to go out and watch some serial killer stuff. Let me go on and get you guys to email me if you would like a free ticket to the conference. Tell me why. Send me an email. And then by Wednesday at 4 o'clock, I'm going to have all the entries in and check them in the comments. You can get all that information there. And then at 4:30, I'll do that random drawing again. Y'all, I'm in love with me some flippity. I like some flippity. And I just hit that little button and it spins it all around and it gives me a name. And that's just the fair way to do it. And that's how we are going to be giving out a free admission ticket for the Monarch Method conference that goes along with the book, but it's just a deeper experience where you're just going to get to be with other brothers and sisters in Christ. We'll be celebrating our pages and celebrating what we're doing. You can meet new people, but it's also a place for you to learn and grow. So if there's only one person in there, and there's only one person that shows up for the conference, and that's Sherri, then you guys would get to meet Sherri. So I say $25 worth that. Don't y'all agree? Tish can put that in there. So you guys will get to meet Sherri. So if it's just one person, it's Sherri. It's me. I'm there. And I love y'all. And I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Thanks, guys, for coming.